Good morning, everyone. It's the real deal up in here. How about that? So, I said it's the real deal up in here. We're just getting up. We're going to go do some paint work at the shop today. I did a video about this is the real world of getting your car fixed. This isn't fantasy land. This isn't the internet world and everything purchased in China or your absolute cheapest places, and you're going to do it yourself. So, what comparison I was making is if you went to a quick lube or even your local mechanic, that our price for that Mercedes oil change was beyond fair in the market. Meaning, if you had a Mercedes, same exact year, make, and model, and went to your regular mechanic and he supplied all the products, or Jiffy Lube or Valvoline or Pep Boys or whoever, that oil change would be way above $120. I wasn't trying to make a comparison for the guy who says, well, I'm going to drive around all day long and find the absolute cheapest oil that I can find in 030, or shop every online store for the cheapest oil and filter and then have it shipped to my house for 25 or 30 bucks. That's not how a business works. That's not how a customer seeks service. And what do I mean by that? Some people out here in YouTube and even in my own town or even in the whole entire world would rather point and click online and then bring their eggs to the restaurant or the diner and have them cook it. That won't happen in a restaurant environment. So when you say, well, I can buy it online for X, right? That's great. Well, have the online guy come to your house and install it, screw it up and see if he comes back. That's not going to happen. Or search online to find a guy who's going to come to your house and plug your tire right away, or do anything for you right away. So when you drive to a service center or a repair facility, right, in most cases, most people are trying to consume something. It's either information, repair, service, something. That comes at a cost. So if you're the type of guy who supports online, right, you're not taking care of Bob's garage around the corner who's trying to put his kids through college or pay his mortgage or pay his car payment or keep the lights on or keep people locally employed, right? You're helping destroy small business. But that same Bob garage, right, is the guy who's there for you when you have a flat tire or your wife's late to work and she's having a problem with her car. You know, and is he more likely to incline to help a customer like that? Says, well, every time you come in and you ask me for work that you can buy it online cheaper, or, you know, why are you $200 for an oil change and I can buy everything for 40 bucks online or 50 bucks at Walmart? That is not what the real shop and real world environment is. I don't even think you can get a mobile mechanic to show up to your house to change your oil for $40. Cost him more to start this vehicle. His time isn't free. Insurance, registration, hopefully he has that. And business liability insurance, which you would hope too. They all factor into even mobile mechanics not being an affordable solution. Although I see a lot of fake advertising that they're saying they're doing brake pads and rotors on a car for $120. No, you're not. Even online to try and buy a set of brake pads and rotors nowadays is $90 to $150. And that's for your cheapest shit you can find online. But what happens when you buy a blend product or you're missing it and it's the wrong product? That's a whole disaster. You know, I just had this conversation with one of my vendors about tire monitors. And he's like, well, I can buy them for less than $20 online. I'm like, no, you can't. And if you are, you're buying crap, defect, garbage shit that doesn't work. It lasts a day. It lasts for 3 days. It's knockoff. Buy name brand, buy local. If you have a problem, hey, Bob, at the auto parts store around the corner from me, whoever place it is, got a TPMS sensor that was bad right out of the box. Can you send me another one? Boom, here comes another one. Try that keystroke shit online and see if you can get that satisfaction. You can't. Point is that online is killing a lot of local retailers. And they're the same people who live next door to you. Their kids go to the same schools as you. And it's just part of, you know, what the world's behavior is today. But a lot of people don't think, like, you showed up at a business, right? And the lights are on and there's someone there to greet you and help you with whatever your concern was. And maybe even information seek. They're not standing there for free. So when you talk about how much an oil change is, and we're just using this vehicle for instance, it's literally free to go to a professional environment with staff everywhere, with lifts, working equipment, the lights are on, computers. That Mercedes, in most cases, will require a scan tool, in most cases, to reset the maintenance that's due. Sometimes you can't just get it with the steering wheel controls because they're not working right. Those software updates cost money. Training your people how to use it costs money. And as I thought about it more, I'm like, I'll never do another Mercedes oil change for $120. It's going to start at $150. That's based on what the YouTube feedback is. Why would I? If the dealership's over $300 or near $400, why should I be 25% of what they charge? That's stupid. So, and somebody commented, I can buy that for a $12 oil filter on Amazon. I don't care. I'm glad that you can, and you can buy 7 quarts of oil for $20. I'm not sure if that's real or not, probably. But that's not the real world when you step into a shop environment. And that goes for Mavis, Firestone, Pep Boys. We even gave you an example with the Ford dealership. He called one dealership, that person knew his shit, said it's $200 for oil change. He called another dealership, probably because he was sticker shock. He's like, whoa, for a Ford Raptor? I mean, I paid that for my Audi at the Audi dealership. Calls another one, like, oh yeah, $120. That's a guy who doesn't know his job. He just answered the phone and threw a price at somebody. And boy, did he get pitch slapped. P-I, pitched. Yeah, they refused to pay the $200. You quoted me the price, and that's the kind of stuff I want to avoid. But remember, and we're going to say this, it's Dave at Mongo's, it's Anthony at Meineke Cinnaminson, it's Rachel at Meineke Cinnaminson. You show up, you got a broken wiper blade, you have a problem with some work, you have a low tire, you have a flat tire, you have problems with your cars. These are the people who are taking care of you when you need that service. And eventually they turn their back on you when you keep saying, well, I can do this online, I can buy this, online. Why are you do this? Because we're running a business. We're not running a charity. We're not running a nonprofit. So I'm sure everybody can do everything cheaper. Absolutely. I do stuff myself. I'm going to go to the shop today and do some easy paint work. Is paint work fun? Not for me. I did some concrete work at my house. I had to run to Home Depot 4 times to finish the job. The one time I did it, because I didn't hire a professional. If I would have hired a professional, it would have cost me 3-4 times what it was, but I understand why, because they're running a business, and then I have to just choke it up. Now, I'm not going to call the concrete guy and say, hey, I screwed up my concrete, can you come out and take a look at it? Yeah, right, he'll never show up. You did your own concrete work, you screwed it up, and you want a pro to come out? And if he does, you think he's going to come out for free? I don't think so. But I wouldn't do that. And some people get caught up in that stuff. It's like, hey, I did my own engine, or I did my own brakes, or, whatever the case may be. And then they want to, go to the shop and say, hey, can you look at my car? And maybe their expectations are that you're going to check it for free. And they're like, if you put all your own parts on, I am entitled to get paid for looking at your car. And then I got to look even further, because it's your mistakes, and I don't know the mistakes that you make on your work, let alone mistakes that I potentially could make on a job. So it comes with a value. So for me, when someone says, hey, I did all my own work, usually the light switch goes off for me. I'm like, yeah, well, what am I doing here? Or I went someplace else, and now here's my receipt. They charged me $3,000, and it's not right. And I'm like, well, I'm right here. You live around the corner. Why did you go there? Or I brought all my parts online, and I took them to some mobile mechanic or somebody else. Not saying mobile mechanics are bad, and the job's not right, and he won't answer the phone, or whatever the case may be. That's why you should have a good relationship with your local mechanic. But it's just, the more and more that I hear this, and it probably goes on for everything. Like, I probably doubt that it does go on in the construction business, because I do hear customers saying, well, I can buy this and I can buy that. And the contractors, when he's doing certain things, he's like, yeah, absolutely, I won't do that. But if you want to buy your own appliances, I'll install them while I'm doing, the bathroom or the kitchen. And then that customer calls him back and says, well, I'm having problems with that. He's like, that's your products. There's no warranty on that. And if you want me to come out and look at it, it's $150 for my time to come out and look at products that you purchased that I don't give a warranty on. And then it's, oh, well, how do I know you installed it right? Because everybody says that. Everybody says, well, how do I know you installed it right? Well, it was working the whole entire time, and now it's not. It's not my problem. So there is a, buyer beware when you step into it, bring in your own products. Like, I don't think you're buying a Mercedes filter for $12 online. If you are, it's probably a knockoff. And what are the chances on it working or not being right, or the right micron? That's all the unknowns. So yeah, people show up with parts, and typically it's a big no for us. Buy local, support local. A lot of shops in Philly closed um, from catalytic converter thefts. Not enough people supporting them. Insurance prices went up. The business is tough, and that goes on in New Jersey too. And if more people supported the local auto mechanic shops, you would have more people in the stores instead of less people in the stores. But buy local, support your local businesses. You don't have a problem going to the to the liquor store or to the dispensary, or to the local supermarket, right? That's all locally owned businesses, in most cases, or Wawa or Starbucks or whatever other things you consume. Keep in mind your auto mechanic is your neighbor. His kids go to school with your children. He's there for you when the internet's not. You can't click the internet button and say, fix my car. In most cases, you think you can click a button that says diagnose my car. A lot of these guys who are online who give out information, it's not good information. Sometimes it is and sometimes it isn't. But yeah, you don't want the cheapest oil products in your car. That's for one. And you always want the right oil products in your car. And I question sometimes when I hear a customer say that I went to Firestone and I paid $40 for a 6-quart oil change, a full synthetic. And I'm like, they didn't put full synthetic in your car. 6 quarts, a filter, and labor. And if they did, they screwed up. And I don't know if they are or they aren't. I can only just tell you what I hear sometimes. Like, I never pay $90 for a full synthetic oil change. It's funny. I just looked at a receipt from Pep Boys that they screwed up a lady's tune-up, and the oil change for 4.5 quarts of full synthetic, and the Toyota Camry that was older was $75 plus tax. So I gotta say that my feelers out here in the industry are right. Take 5 is around $90 for a full synthetic oil change up to 5 quarts, and their price goes up there for full synthetic. Valvoline and Jiffy Lube were pretty much the same, $120 for a full synthetic oil change. And I'm sure there's some places out there that are more based on my YouTube feedback that I'm hearing $150 to $200 for 7-quart oil changes, if not more. And that's in line. And that's without the customer supplying the products. A quick oil change means quick disaster. And I hear that a lot when customers pull up to our shop and they're in a hurry and we're not in a hurry, and they ask for a quick oil change. That's like saying, oh, can you quick do brain surgery on me and get me back on my way? I know people think an oil change is simple. It's not as simple as it used to be, and things do go wrong even for the best mechanics in the world, and rushing through an oil change or anything is disaster. So even for quick lubes, I can't. If you read the reviews on quick lubes, they have a lot of disasters, and not just catastrophic failure, but issues that go along with the quick service environment. So there's nothing quick when it comes to you potentially blowing up a $10,000 or $20,000 or $30,000 engine from a $45 oil change. So it's the real deal all the time here. Once we get to the shop, we're gonna have breakfast first, and then we're gonna go to the shop, and then we're gonna paint the counter. We're gonna paint 2 doors. And there's a concrete pillar in the shop that it's just right next to how you get in and out of a car and where you're working, and it gets handprints all over it. So we're gonna paint that black because I'm tired of painting it white. The back shop door needs to be repainted. It's a metal door that gets beat to death, and then we're gonna figure out what color we're gonna paint the Phillies, baby, you from Philadelphia. And then we're gonna paint the walls. We talked about adding a TV, but it's just so small in there, and having the TV on, it just takes away from the phone when you're trying to listen to the phone. So I said, well, why don't we put it on closed caption? We're gonna put some of my certifications and picture frames, hang them up. We're going to add some more automotive type stuff, like maybe a picture like that or a picture like that. All right, ready? Yeah, some cool stuff like that. So I always say the right oil, the right price, and the right service. I don't think people put value on all that all the time. I think people just think oil's oil, like gas is gas, and gasoline, and gasoline is not the same gasoline everywhere you go. You're buying cheap gasoline, it's for a reason, cheap price point. The reason you're buying it, most of the time it's got a lot of water in it, and most people don't know that. Your engine will still burn a little bit of water in gasoline. It may not run really well, but that's the facts. Thanks for watching.